This Filipino band broke records and defined Philippine music long before SB19, Beanie, or any of today's P-pop idols. They didn't need choreographed dances, fancy stylists, or social media virality. They had something stronger. Raw stories, real emotions, and lyrics that made you feel seen. This is the story of the Eraserheads, 4 college boys who captured the soul of a nation, shook the entire music industry, and disappeared at the height of their fame. It started in the early 1990s, a time of transition for the Philippines. The country had just emerged from the shadow of martial law. A new democracy was finding its voice, and so were the people, especially the youth. Tired of recycled love ballads and commercial pop, young Filipinos wanted something real, something that felt like them. That's when fate brought together 4 students from UP Diliman, Eli Buendia, Raymond Marasigan, Marcus Adoro, and Buddy Zabala. They weren't polished, they didn't look or sound like what radio stations were playing at the time, but they had a kind of magic. Unfiltered, unapologetic, and deeply Filipino. At first, no one took them seriously. Record labels rejected them. Their sound was too college, too weird, too messy, but they didn't stop. In 1993, they released their debut album, Ultra Electromagnetic Pop, and it didn't just succeed, it exploded. Tracks like Ligaya, Toyang, and Pare Ko felt like diary entries turned into anthems. Pare Ko, with its now iconic curse word, wasn't just shocking, it was liberating. Suddenly, here was a band that spoke exactly how the youth felt. Frustrated, in love, lost, hopeful, angry, and all of the above. The Eraserheads weren't trying to be pop stars, they were just telling stories, and that's why they hit. From there, they only went higher. Their follow-up albums, Circus in 1994 and Cutter Pillow in 1995, were massive. Cutter Pillow sold over 175,000 copies in just its first month. It became one of the best-selling albums in OPM history. Songs like Huling El Bimbo, Overdrive, and With a Smile became staples of Filipino life. Played during birthdays, breakups, weddings, graduations, and long drives home. Their lyrics were both poetic and simple. Their sound was experimental but familiar. They were relatable, weird, funny, sad, and inspiring, all at once. By the late 90s, Eraserheads were at the top. They had legions of fans, international recognition, awards left and right. They had achieved what no other Filipino band had done before. They were called the Beatles of the Philippines, and they deserved it. But success is never simple. Behind the scenes, the band was beginning to fracture. Creative differences started pulling them apart. Some wanted to experiment more, some wanted to stick to what worked. Schedules clashed, egos clashed, and most of all, Eli was tired. As the front man, he carried the weight of expectations, media, fans, fame. And on top of that, he was dealing with personal issues, including the loss of his mother and his own health battles. Tension turned into silence. Silence turned into distance. And in 2002, it ended. Eli Buendia sent a short email to the band and their manager. It read, "It's time to graduate." And just like that, the Eraserheads were no more. No farewell tour, no official goodbye, just heartbreak. For the fans and for the members themselves. Filipinos everywhere felt the loss. For many, it was the end of an era. They tried moving on, both the fans and the band. Each member started new projects, Sandwich Pupil, Cambio, The Dawn, and others. But nothing really filled the space they left behind. Then came 2008. News broke. The Eraserheads would reunite for one night only. Fans went wild. It was the comeback nobody believed would happen. The tickets sold out. The hype was massive. It was finally happening. But fate had one more twist.
Eraserheads itong gabi ng Sabado. Pero sa kalagitnaan ng concert, inatake sa puso ang lead vocalist na si Eli Buendia. Live mula sa Makati City, ito ang weekend report ni Round.
In the middle of the concert, Eli collapsed backstage. He was rushed to the hospital with chest pains and exhaustion. the show was cut short. Once again, heartbreak. It was almost poetic. The band that defined a generation couldn't even finish their reunion, but the fans, they never stopped loving them. In 2009, they tried again, this time with full preparation and a complete concert. They would go on to perform a few more times in the following years, including a 2022 reunion concert that broke records again, but it was never quite the same. Maybe it was age, maybe it was time. Maybe some things, once broken, can never fully return, but here's the truth. Even if the Eraserheads never return as the same band again, they've already done something no other Filipino band has ever done. They gave a voice to millions of Filipinos. They captured the feelings no one else could explain. They made music that mattered. Their songs weren't just hits. They were part of our memories, part of our barkada, our love stories, our heartbreaks, our youth. And for that, the Eraserheads will always be legends. They rose, they fell, but they will never be forgotten. If you grew up listening to Eraserheads, or if this story reminded you of your youth, hit that like button and share this video with your fellow fans.